Hey there, so I'm going to assume that a few of you that watched last night's Boris Johnson statement about the lockdown state of the United Kingdom will have gone to bed in a really bad state and really felt quite anxious about what he had to say about what this means for society. So I think for anybody, no matter what your sort of general state of well-being is, the level of restriction that's imposed on our lives would have felt really quite difficult. But I know, as somebody who spent a long time battling with an eating disorder and for whom regime and routine was very important, and access to exercise and ability to shop for food or not when I wanted to, all those things were so important at the kind of height of my eating disorder. And it struck me as I was listening to Boris Johnson talking that for anybody who is in recovery or living with their eating disorder kind of in the dark or hasn't yet got treatment, might even be waiting for treatment, just sitting there at 8:30 last night and listening to him talk about the level of constraint on our lives all of a sudden, it's an awful lot to take in. And it does have huge social impact and is going to have a huge consequence on the mental health of so many people, whether they're already vulnerable or not. So I suppose the reason for wanting to post this video today is to say you have every right to feel quite flustered, shocked, anxious, worried, scared even about what was said last night, but it's really vital that you don't use some of that kind of opportunity within those constraints to give you further reason to slip back into your eating disorder or to allow your eating disorder behaviours to become worse. We already know that over the last few weeks there's been so much discussion about how people have been panic buying in supermarkets and how people are behaving really badly and they're buying more food than they need to. Well, that alone is enough for somebody on a restrictive eating disorder spectrum to be thinking, oh, well, perhaps therefore I shouldn't be buying because I don't want to prevent other people from getting access to food, or I don't want to be seen with a full basket of shopping and other people think badly of me. And this is just another way actually that I could legitimately restrict my food. No, this is absolutely not aimed at you. That dialogue that's out there at the moment about people that are panic buying toilet roll and pasta. Why toilet roll and pasta? But that's where that sort of negative comment and criticism, that's where that's aimed. It's not aimed at people like yourself who really need to be staying on top of their nutrition, serving their body well, getting in the level of shopping that is going to help them through this next few weeks, whatever our state of lockdown is. So when it's things about kind of those measures around can we get out and can we shop in the supermarkets, can I just remind you today that they have said that you can get to a supermarket, they have said that you can use pharmacies. Do not consider that you should be on lockdown in your home with no food and drink in the cupboards and telling yourself that your eating disorder needs to continue because the government has told you to do so. This is absolutely not aimed at you in that way. What is aimed at you, just like with everybody else, is the social distancing around 2 meters around anybody else. It is limiting what journeys you need to make. And it is washing your hands regularly and staying on top of your own health and well-being. But just do not allow those dark thoughts or almost kind of reasons to legitimise your eating disorder. Just do not allow that behaviour to slip in, because I think it would be all too easy to do. The other thing that really concerns me about this level of lockdown is the isolation. It's going to mean for a lot of people that, they're not accessing their family, particularly, if obviously you don't live with them. Please use technology, stay in contact with people, whether you use Zoom, whether you use Skype, whether you use phone calls. If you're not in great relationships with your wider friends and family and you're finding that difficult, contact us at Wednesday's Child, be in touch with us, have a reason to have some form of communication. It's so important to just give you a reminder that you are far more than your eating disorder, that you have a personality, you have communication abilities, you have topics to talk about, and actually somebody would want to hear your voice. So rather than be alone, I'd far rather you were reaching out to people like us and our befriending network of individuals that have joined Wednesday's Child within the last few weeks to be befrienders, to be on the end of the phone, to be on the end of Zoom calls. So if that would help you, then please get in touch. The other thing I know would be tricky from Boris Johnson's speech last night is he was very much saying it's one form of exercise only in a day, and for some people for whom exercise has been a compulsion and has fed into their eating disorder and been part of their restriction and maintaining that calorie deficit. Just a reminder that rule is there for a reason. It's there for not wishing to spread the virus and be in further contact with people, but also use it as a reminder to yourself that actually excess exercise right now, while you need your immune system to be in a good form and able to fight this virus should you get it, it's really vital that you're not over exercising, you're not being compulsive about movement, and you're doing everything you can to look after both mind and body. So I hope that is just a little bit of a reminder. As I say, I know it's going to be an anxious time for people, but just please do use it as an opportunity to reach out to us or to friends or to family